Hello. It's Monday, and my brain is not here, but I wanted to stream, and so we're gonna do that. We're gonna play some Scorn, and I'm excited for that because it's been a bit since we last played. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope the new year, this is only the second day, but I hope it's been good for y'all. Like I said, I'm super tired today, just because I've been sleeping like shit, because Devo has decided that in the middle of the night is when he needs to scream constantly for no reason. So that's been fun. Love that for me. It's fine. I'll get sleep when I get sleep. But yeah, I wanted to stream today because I don't work, and I figured more Scorn would be fun because it's been a minute. It's true. Hi, Allie. Devo does need to adjust his streaming schedule. It's not even like, the issue is it's not even his normal like crying that he usually does. Like, this is full on like, wow, wow. It's like, Devo, you gotta stop. It's not, he doesn't even want my attention, because when I bring him over, like when he comes over to like see me, he just screams even more, and I'm like, Devo, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. But he won't. So yeah, I'm up all night because Devo won't stop yelling about nothing. I don't even know what his issue is. He's just yelly. But, you know, it's fine. That's what he do. Hope y'all are doing great. hope you're doing well, Allie and Jarvis. I am really excited because the last of the gifts that I got from Throne came in today. It was pretty much just my glass. It's my Tomie glass. Look, it's got Jinji stuff on it. Ah! I should probably hold this in a more intelligent fashion, actually. Look it. Horror cup. It's very exciting, and I love it. But yeah, we're gonna do some Scorn. What else did I have come in today? A lot of it was stuff that I ordered for myself. I did, as a Christmas gift to myself, I bought paintbrushes, for mini painting, and those came in today, and I'm very excited about that. I don't have any of the other supplies that I need for it, but that's okay. A little bit at a time. Yeah, we're gonna play Scorn, and I'm excited. Because more meat crimes. Oops, all meat crimes. Yeah. I don't know, I don't really have anything else to say. Nothing else to talk about. So maybe we'll just meet crime up? Y'all wanna do a crime? Just making sure that everything like looks fine on OBS, given some of the issues I've been having lately. I think I just need to like update OBS. Whoa, Frames, where are you? I don't remember how to play at all. We've got a name. We got a reload. How do I heal? That's how I heal. Okay. It's fine. We'll figure it out. What were we doing? Aside from walking through bad meat hell? Oh, I've really fucked myself over, haven't I? Like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if I'm going the right way, but we'll see. Hi, Emmy. How goes? I am lost and very confused, and everything is squelching at me. Oh, and I've got some stuttering going on. Hey, game? What's the matter? Oh! We appreciate chill days. Give me... No. Oh, it's empty. That's why. The bad holes have nothing for me. I understand. I'm doing alright. I'm very tired. Devo's been very yelly at night and doesn't want to do anything to not be yelly. So that's fun. Did I go the wrong way? Because that was empty. I think I might have gone backwards. It's fine. But yeah, got the day off from work, and I wanted to play some Scorn. And so I'm doing that. I just wanted to... Sorry, that was bad sounds. Hi, Akos. How's it going, friend? Okay, this is fine. What's this? Can't do anything with the... That's a peener. I'm also glad I have the day off. It just, I don't know, the last like 2 weeks have been weird. Because 4-day weeks. And that's strange. But you know what? We're enjoying it. We're taking it off. Oh no! No headaches. Hey. Drink some water if you haven't recently. Maybe eat something with some protein. Take it easy. Rest up. Yeah, I'm doing alright. Happy New Year to you as well. We're tired. We're here. I'm incredibly lost. Because I don't remember what was happening the last time we played. And I don't know where to go. Can't go down there. We'll accept it. Noodles are wonderful. Can't interact with that. This is the only thing here. But I can't touch it. So, where does that leave us? Is this the way that we came? No. Yes? This is the way that we came. Okay. Everything is meat, and I can't navigate that. Mac and cheese for lunch. I'm here for it. I had some stew because I have so much stew. Still have, I don't have that much stew left. I have like a bowl or two left. Just sad. Good stew. Cheesy nudes. Game. I can't interact with this. Why? What am I missing? Am I missing my hand thing? Do I need to find a thing to shove my hand into? Game is just background at this point. I wouldn't worry about it. But everything's meat. It's very meat here. Welcome to meat. Hi, welcome to meat. Listen, we're here for it. We appreciate it. Okay, I can't go over there. I'm here to chat with y'all and maybe solve a puzzle or two. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here today. You know, sometimes You just wanna... Just kind of want to be. Is there... I might have purchased it when it came out because I was very excited for it. And we played a little bit of it, but that was shortly after my move. Slash during a time when I was just having a very difficult time, like, working up the motivation to stream. So we didn't play a whole ton. But I really liked what I saw of it. Or, like, what I had played of it, at least. But it's been long enough that I don't know what's happening anymore or where I'm supposed to go. Those are awful and I hate them. Can't... Okay, maybe we go back the way that we came. It's real cool, though. Like, visually speaking, really awesome. And I've liked the puzzles so far. Like I said, I think the issue right now is just that, like, it's been a while since I played, and I don't remember what we were doing. And since there aren't really any, like, indications about what you're supposed to do or where you're supposed to go, I am lost. Which, again, like, I don't necessarily mind not having any sort of direction to go in, but it does make it a little difficult when you've put the game down for a while and have come back. Okay. I need probably by drinking. Are you saying I should get drunk? What's over here? No, that's fair. It is unnerving. You have every right to be scared of it. It is creepy. But this is like the level of, like, I can't even call it body horror, but like meat horror. Meat crimes. You know, those things that I've been talking about for the last, like, week. I don't want to shoot that because I need the ammo. These aren't really doing anything, so there's no point to shoot them. Am I just missing something? That's the way we came. I can't go that way. So let's wander off this way. Yeah. I did get new glasses. I have new glasses again. They're not that different from what I had before. Just more round. But it's wonderful being able to see fully again. Everything is so crisp. It's wild. That's a dead end, right? And I can't interact with that. No. And then there's nothing in here. But just to make sure. Can't get anything else out of the bad holes. Hi, neighbors. I hear your dog and or child running around up there. That's where the level started, I think. It's fine. Maybe we'll just run around in a circle for a little bit. Am concerned about... I don't think... Hold on, let me finish a single thought first. I don't think it set the precedence that we can shoot meat to move past it. So I don't want to waste my ammo there. I can't really get down. There's an invisible wall stopping me from going over there. That's just meat. That's also just meat. What else do we got? More meat. Worst comes to worst, if I, like, can't figure out what we're doing, I'll probably just replay on my own time. Get us back to where we were. And we might just switch over to village. Because I am feeling very silly. There's, like, nothing for me to interact with, though, right? Like... There's this. But I can't do anything with it. And... I can't go down there. And I can't go there. And I can't really scale that meat. I want to go through here, but I don't know how. That's the same thing that's over there, but I can't activate it. And I also can't get over there. Game, what am I missing? Hey, meat, can I climb you? Meat, can I just scooch on past you? Oh, just gonna... Oh! I wish. Can I... Maybe... No, because it keeps making me, like, climb up it. But not in a way that I can actually, like, get past. Ew. Phallic symbol. Can I push you? Can I shove my hand in you? Get down. Hi, Farley. Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay. Hi. Does anybody have a spare arm? Would you mind lending me a hand? Because that's like the only thing I can think of is those machines that we've shoved our hand into to get the little, like, activating device. That is the only thing I can think of, but I haven't seen one. So maybe... Can't really see past that. So I don't think there's anything back there. However... Is there anything I can shoot? Well, not that. We can't go over there. Okay. It's fine. We'll just wander around uselessly for a little bit. Sure wish I had something more to talk about. Life has just been very quiet recently, which, like, I'll take, honestly. But I haven't really done much or anything. That's not really doing anything. I'm hearing growling over there. Over there? Right, though, honestly. As much as we like doing stuff, I would 100% take uninteresting times over anything else right now. Like, not about the excitement at the moment. Okay. what do we do? Where do we go? There's not really anywhere for me to go. It's incredibly linear at the moment. But apparently not linear enough. You? That looks like a dead end. Shooting that meat, I don't think would do anything for us. Should probably restart considering I've like wasted some of my ammo just shooting things. Can I shoot this? What's past here? That's done nothing. Great. But I can't get up there. And there's nothing over here. And I am lost. We are very lost at the moment. Maybe I shoot the wiggly boys in the wall? They're not hurting me is the thing. But that's the only thing I can think of. Some of them are like him. No, don't heal up. Was there another one around here? Is there anything up? Excuse me, Fitbit. Don't ding at me. I'm too busy to get up and walk around at the moment. Thank you very much. Wait, what's that? That's just meat. Uninteresting meat. Can I... Ha. Well, I'm at a loss. Oh, there's another one. Nope, that did nothing. Still nothing. Can we... load... When is this? 1843. That's like a full hour's difference there. Let's go back to the start of this area. Let's just reload real quick so I can have my ammo back. We were facing this way, right? So what's... Why did I stop here? Right, so this is the start of the level. We got dropped off here. Why won't flesh become liquid? Please. Horrible, gross, liquid meat, yuck. Gotta say, yuck. I'm just a little lost. Is all. You know, I might also just look up a guide real quick just to see what I'm... Where are you going? Can I do that? No. Okay. I'd also love to, like, go here, but man won't jump. Our silly little man won't jump. That was new, though. That's not a rabbit. No rabbits here. None rabbit. Who's gurgling? Hi! Ow! Ow! Okay, well this is new. Stop! Oh my gosh! Do you think the game just didn't load in properly? Was that the issue? I have, like, no health now. That's a problem. Hi, Fruity. It sure is meat out. I think the game just didn't load properly. Because things are happening now that were not happening previously. So that's exciting. How's it going, friend? How are you doing? Hello? Who gurgle? Who meet? Okay, well now we're back to the same issue of being like, well, what do? Still can't do anything with that. Everyone's getting nudes today. It's an oops all pasta day for everyone. We're here for it. Maybe I'll make spaghetti tonight. Maybe that's what I'll have. Look at this. Do something? This wiggled when I stepped on it. Oh, I'm gonna spaghetti up. Just you wait. Just you wait. I don't know what I'm doing. What happening? What doing? Game, I'm lost and confused. There's a thing there. Can I shoot that? Probably shouldn't have done that. That's fine. I am lost and upset and would like to know where I'm supposed to go, but the game won't help me. It's been a minute since we've played, and now I'm concerned that my save is bugged out. Because I feel like I've looked at everything I can look at in these 4 hallways. Right? Please. Like I was saying earlier, like, thus far it hasn't been too much of an issue, like, not necessarily having any direction to go to. I've kind of enjoyed sort of just, like, aimlessly wandering, but given that it's been long enough since I've played and I don't know what's going on, it's a little difficult to figure out where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do, you know? Some dude wandered off in there and I want to go to there, but I'm not allowed to go to there. I want to climb over this. Sir, you can climb over this. I forgot about our hand and our little octopus buddy. Hi Luna. It's true. I'm looking for a meat needle and a dang meat stack. It's horrible. And I don't want to like get mad at the game about it because like it very well could be a me issue. A meat issue, if you will. No. It could just be like a me problem being like I haven't played in ages, so I don't remember how to do anything, or conversely, it could also just be an issue with the meat. And I know it's like updated a few times since we played last, and so I'm concerned that maybe my file might have gotten corrupted. Yeah, meats. We've allowed the meat to sour. You thought it was stinky before. Oh boy, let me tell you. Look at his wiggly little arm. Horrible wiggle arm. I don't know what else to do. Is this right? Is this correct? That one wouldn't die the last time I tried to shoot it. Yeah, it still won't. Great. Please? Yeah, I don't know what to do. Hold on a second. We're in chapter 3? I just want to see if there's something that I am missing. Because more or less I just want to confirm if my game is bugged. That's all. That all looks like stuff I've already done. That's also stuff that I've already done. We did this. Like, the last thing that we did was move the big orb. The travel orb. We've done that. Okay, oh, am I... I need my other weapon? How do I switch weapons? Game? Switch? Okay. 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 It was a me issue. I forgot how to play. We have a second weapon that we use in the big dongers. Hold on a second. Sorry, my carpet keeps... The carpet under my chair keeps getting caught on the wheels. I need a different one. I need to buy a new one because this one is too small. Okay, well, now that we know that it was indeed a me issue, let's go. And this one doesn't use up my ammo, so that's exciting. Okay. Perfect. Let's continue on. Yeah, it's gonna pretend to fall on us. We're gonna move along. Hello. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. I'm glad it was a me issue then. I say, and then immediately get scared because everything is moving on me. Also, I'm gonna close out of the website now. All I found in the guide was how to activate the thing. And now we know. It was a meat issue. It's true. Oh, look him! Oh! What are you? Ah! Sir! I'm in a corner! I can't get out! We have died! I don't understand how we've died as far as our laying position is concerned, but it's fine. Now we know not to go into the corner. Understood. This is fine. Everything is fine. Holy shit. Okay, let's get the bolt thing back. Sir. Sir. Sir, you have to... The reload on this is horrible. Or like the cooldown, I guess. Not really the reload. Bad. But I like it because it doesn't use my ammo. Ugh. It's fine. Oh, it's real slow when I'm still aiming. I see. Okay, well, let's try this again. This time without putting ourselves in a corner. That might be good. Yikes. Doing that a little faster would be nice, buddy. How did that miss? I'm afraid that I'm not killing it. I have killed it. We're fine, actually. A murder has occurred. Still kicking around, though. That's horrible and I hate it. Well. I am concerned that we're gonna come across another one of those. And I don't really have the ammo to deal with it. Oh, I hear something over there. It's fine. There is a wall between me and it now. Okay. Okay. We're doing great. You, a reload station? No, you're just a dead end. Fuck. More ammo would be delightful. Right about now. I do like it when they get launched. Okay, you're wiggling away. You're allowed to do that this time, I suppose. Thing. Put your fingers in there. Okay, now where? What are you? Okay. We've cleared away. That's exciting. But what's over here? Can I activate this? No, because I don't have... I need to finish making my key. Is that what we're still doing? All coming together. We're getting there. Slow as it may be. Hello? Okay. Ooh. Why it's so meaty? Who put all this meat here? Why? Why did they put all this meat here? Heck. Is that a refill station or is that the thing for the key? I think that's the thing for the key. Who? You, though. You're a refill station. I would like to refill everything. Doesn't really give us any more health, though, which is a bit of an issue. But at least we have more ammo. I can't complain too much about that. Okay. No. No. Excuse you. Are you gonna break that? We can run. I don't have to fight him. We can run. Don't look at me. Don't look me. Where's that elevator? There it is. Not a problem. We know what we're doing, for the most part. Kind of. Wait, no, it's this way. Door. Get. Great! Health station. Fill him up, buddy. Nicely done. We got 3 things. 4 things. Oh, that scared me. Don't fall over. Oh, buddy, you're getting a little wormy there, huh? Where are we going? Whoa! Cool. Neat. Before we press on, what's over here? There's a big boy over there. Excuse you! Oh, that took like 2 sections of my health. These only heal 1 at a time. 1 3/4. Okay. Now, what? Where was the big one in relation to me? I don't want to fight him. They take too many hits to kill. Oh, it's bad here. It is. Oh! Okay, well, do have quite a bit of ammo. Ah! Okay. That actually was better than I was anticipating it being. Get out of here. No. Look, I was gonna leave y'all alone, but if you're gonna try and grab me, then I absolutely will pummel ya. Oh! Can I... Nope! Okay! Alright. That's cool. Thought I would try. Never mind. Where am I? I've gone in a circle. I've gone in a circle. We need to go this way because this is where the big guy was. I understand. Kind of, for the most part. What's this? Are we out? Are we leaving? Are we free? It did look like we were about halfway through the game already. Just given what I saw. I think it said there were 6 chapters. I just got an achievement. Oh, I don't like the growling that I'm hearing. Yes, I'm going to reload after only shooting the once. It's just BB or a gnashing dog. Oh, jeez. This does look really cool, though. Oh! Oh! Are those... Is that a titty? Hello? I don't... Maybe we reconsider what we're doing here. Excuse me. My good friend. Might I approach and not get eaten? Yeah, you can't take Mingo from BB. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Who's spitting at me? Hi, Mama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't feel great about that. Oh. Oh, ouch. Not the World Eater. She's like hollowed out. I mean, aside from the damage that I have done. Oh, heck. Oh, I don't feel good about that. Are you just gonna... I mean, I get it. I would also keep an eye on me. I'm sorry. Oh. trying to make sure I don't explode her other boobie. Ma'am, I'm sorry. Ah! Who's spitting? Who spit? The babies are angry. Okay, it's not worth using that. We're just gonna go. Here I was trying to conserve ammo, and it's just not worth it, honestly. The damage that you take with how slow the, like, puncher thing is, not worth it. I don't have enough keys for that just yet. And that's a dead end? Yeah. Okay, well... That's also nothing. What's this? Oh, ew! Oh, am I gonna... I'm sorry! I don't feel great about what we're doing here today. Hi, I'm sorry, but I gotta cut you open. Hey, more health. Which is great, because I think I hear something creeping up on us. Yep. Ah! I am fully out of ammo. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. Down here? Is this how I get to the new thing that I've opened up? Oh. Sir, you have to stop messing around with my insides. Oh, our poor buddy. Game, you can't just steal my health like this. Oh, we're being watched. Or at least she's attempting to watch us. Is that... What am I trying to match that to? Oh, I think I need more of them. Okay. I need 2 more? Right? What's this? New weapon? Is it a shotgun? Not that I can find out. Oh, just kidding, I can. That appears to be a shotgun of some sort. Which is very exciting. Ooh! Okay, let's just go ahead and reload everything real fast. Horrible meat guns. This will be interesting against those big boys. And I don't have a thing to unlock that just yet. Okay. Let's see. Perfect timing. Whoa! He head split open. All right, that's pretty alright. That's pretty cool. We'll save big gun for the big boys and use the pistol for everything else. I don't know what else to call it. It's we got weird guns. That's all that matters, right? Reload. We're getting low again, though. I don't like that. Oh, hi. I know I keep saying it, but I don't feel great about us just ripping this poor thing open. It's peeking. It says, what fresh hell are you going to do to me now? Hi. Oh! Nope, wrong weapon. There we go. Okay, this is fine. Why aren't you dead yet? Yeah, but just big silly lumpus. I have a weakness for big silly lumpuses. And that's a big silly lump right there. And I'm just ripping through it. I'll like it. Alright. Hey, more keys though. So that's exciting. Love that for us. Travis, no! I don't want to grip and ripper. Sad. She doesn't make as fun a noise when you grip and rip. Listen. Only cans. Only cans may be gripped and ripped. Do not grip it and rip it when it comes to big old flesh lumpuses. Okay. Okay. a problem. You know what? We can just walk away. Oh, goodness. Okay, we still can't do anything with that. So where to next? There was... Can't go in there. There was another locked door back before we got in here, right? Back through the meat hole we made? Is it up here? Or is this where I came from? Here? No, that's a dead end. And that's the door that we just came through. Okay. Sorry, backtracking is very hard to do in this. We've done that, so that's that right there. How do I get there? Do we... Down one more? I am very lost because everything is me. Yeah, it's... There it is. It is a little hard to, like, navigate when everything is just meat. I can't stand around and pay attention to what exactly the meat lump looked like. That's not gonna work. Shit. Okay, well, that's every last bit of ammo I have. Excuse me. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, that's still not helpful. Oh! This is fine, actually. I want to see your bad feet. Your bad hooves. Your meat hooves. Good night, my sweet prince. More health! Heck. Alright, give me that. Is there... Hey, more ammo would be real nice right about now. Let me tell ya. I'm kind of glad he got stuck behind that wall. And it didn't have any other way to kill him. Hi. I'm here to do more horrible crimes on your body. I'm sorry. I don't feel great about the things that I am doing to you. Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh! Oh, it's time for me to leave here. Ammo! Lots of ammo! Oh, look at all that ammo! Whoa. Let's do it. I can still probably just run past him, right? Oh! I can't run past him. Whoa! I'm stuck! Please! You have to move! Ugh! And last one. Also reload. Let's do this. Let's switch weapons and reload again. Don't need to, actually. Fully loaded. Let's go. Fuck. We don't have to kill everything that we come across. Sometimes you just gotta run away. You know? Okay. Oh, where am I going? Oh, where do we go? There's so much gunking happening. Okay, it's fine. We'll figure out where to go. Oh no. Undertale has less meat hell, from what I remember, right? It's the gunkening. Hi, TK. How's it going, friend? Oh, sad buddy. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Like, I know I'm supposed to find more of those. I trust Fruity. I also like the giant sad worm. I don't like that I'm making the giant sad worm even sadder. One of the skeletons likes spaghetti. Oh, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. Okay, we still... How do I leave this horrible hell? How do I get out of here? Ugh. Oh my god, it's Arcade! Hi, friend. How are you doing? It is corn. We're doing acorn again. Oh, I have to sneeze real bad. Oh, is this how I have... Okay. Alright. Well. Happy New Year, friend. Thank you for the lovely Embry picture earlier. It was very cute. Lovely as always. Got it done so quick. How are you doing though? Oh god. No yawns. Why so sleepy? Hello. We'll just make sure that that's not a problem. I was kind of hoping there would be a thing over here. There are lots of bones and bone creatures. There's also lots of meat and meat creatures. Sometimes there are bone and meat creatures. Watch out! It's super gunky here. Horrible. Awful. That's where I needed to be. Is the thing. Okay, well, lots of meat cutes? Meat cutes? Excuse me? I too am a bone and meat creature. We should definitely watch out for Allie. Moose are bone and meat creatures. Listen. I've seen a moose before. There was lots of meat and lots of bone there. What kind of moose are you looking at? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know. The oddest of moose. The horrific kind? The kind that I don't wanna cross paths with. I would like to not meet that moose, I think. Okay, am I like this? Are these? Oh. Oh, I see. I am scared of the moose that you all know. I need to get over one. How do I get there? Ah! Aha! Almost. There we go. That's kind of a cool puzzle. I liked that. Moose. Travis, please. Not the ganacheing my teeth around a moose. Can I? There's things happening right now. While those things are happening, I'm gonna wrap up in a blanket because my arms got cold. Oh! Oh! Oh, we're gunkin'. Oh, I think we killed it. It is my smiley blanket. Nah, it's still groaning. Everything's fine. It is the, oh god, you can see the eyes, can't you? The scary, scary eyeballs. Not that Smiley's eyes are scary, but on the blanket, they're a little horrifying. Blanket orbs. It is very fun working with Smiley. and then also wrapping up in my smiley blanket while we're working. It's a little chilly in the office sometimes. It's fine. The smiley blanket is like my designated. Oh. Oh. Oh, she looks so sad. But the smiley blanket is my like designated office blanket. This is what I use when I'm in the office. Because it's small enough that it doesn't necessarily like get caught on my horrible sound. It doesn't get caught on like the wheels of my chair or anything. Plus it's warm. It's true. It sounds like Worm Friend needs smiley blanket. Also, I think we have worms. I think our poor man has a bad case of the worms. Yeah, it's we're going through a few changes right now. I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's fine. Yeah. It's that he's going through that time of life that all young meat creatures do. It's meat puberty. Looks very cool. He got the worms off a Weevil, bruv. It's true. Friend over here is just thinking about goop. Goop. Oh, jeez. It's goopin' time. Look it. Look it. That's pretty cool. Oh, Weevil, bruv. Oh, Frames, where have you gone? My plan for the rest of the evening was to Pokemon hunt. Try and finish my Pokédex. That was a good part, wasn't it? Do love gooping on people. It's our favorite pastime? This looks very neat. Excuse me? Dang. Dang. Okay, let's it's a fancy phallus. They don't have mouths. Excuse you. Right in front of my building? My God. Jesus. This is a horny palace. That looks cool, though. My God. Horny Alice. Pantsy phallus and horny Alice. I don't know how to talk anymore. Oh, what's this? That looks like it was a person at one point. What's this? I am just saying word soup. I'm just making up words now. It's fine. I sometimes look like a person. Her poor hand. I don't always feel like a person, let alone look like one. But that's okay. Meat. What is this? What can I do with this? Can I do something with this? Huh? Tum. Okay, well... things have taken a turn for the strange. Oh, can't go that way. Dead end! Guess we'll go back the way we came. This way? No, we haven't been here. What this? Okay. Then what's in here? Cages. I like your silly head. Oh. Hmm. They do look just a little tired. Hope they can get some good rest. They deserve it. Oh, there's a face in there. Oh, he's wiggling. Here, I'm gonna put you down for just a minute, okay? I'll be right back. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, it's a baby. A sweet little baby. Sweet little baby. Let me have the things. Hold on a second. Oh, we'll wear him. Don't you worry. Allie, did you see that they announced Death Stranding 2? Did you see? I thought you would be. Okay. Here, go into your tum-tum. You okay, buddy? How you feeling? How do I help? How do I help? Do you want... Yeah, it's like he's asking me a question? Oh? Can I... Pregnancy is... What? Sorry, something moved and I'm not sure what. I'm gonna take this other BB. And I'm gonna go give it to our other friend? Okay, maybe I don't give it to our other friend because I can't. Do you want... This too? Hmm. Something tells me he does not want this one. Hi? What have I done? What am I doing? Okay, this baby has to go. There you go, buddy. How do I operate this machinery? There's an arm there. So do I... Is it you? No. Do we go back downstairs? No. Hey, buddy, I'm gonna need you to help me out a little bit, okay? Because I want to help you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Also, the last time we had a friend, and I tried to help him, I made it worse. So there is the fear that I am going to, harm our friend again. Give me this. Give me this back. Okay, so that opens when we stand on the thing, but nothing else happens. Can I... There's nowhere else for me to put this. Huh. I'm sorry, this is just me wandering around aimlessly being like, oh, this is what's happening? What? Okay. I'm sorry I keep moving you around, baby. I'm gonna set you back down. Okay. And then... Can't stab that. It will not let me. Every time I get close, it makes me put my gun away. Do I... Oh. 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 Tell Gwen I'm sorry? Oh. But I liked him. What am I supposed to do with him? In here? He's okay. It's nap time. Oh god, is this a blender? Oh no, it's... I got the baby juice. TK and me, same hat. We got baby juice. I don't feel great about that. Are we making a new BB? Because that would be exciting. I have to do this again. How do I... Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Hi, BB. I'm sorry. Gotta plug you in. Oh. Oh no. Oh no! Baby is angry! Oh, you know what? That's fair. Ah! Wait, baby! Whoa! Okay, Huh. Huh. I don't like it when BB is angry at me. Listen! I understand. I've made mistakes. I understand I am a monster. But also, baby, I didn't know. Possibly? I know that like a lot of the, or at least one of the other situations like this let us have a not as horrible outcome, so I wonder if that can happen again. Like if we can do that with BB. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not. Ouch. Okay, are you reloading? I need you to reload, BB. There you go. Okay. Hi, baby. Ouch! Baby. Ah, don't punch me! No punch, baby! Just the other side now? Okay. Okay. Right, gentle touches. Nice hands. Baby, you got her nice hands. Oh god. It's working at the daycare all over again. Buddy, I need you to put your side sack out again. Okay? Travis, don't say that! Oh no! Okay, it's timeout time, baby. I'm sorry. Where are you going, buddy? You're okay. It's okay. Oh. Have you considered taking a nap? Do I get this weapon now? Oh. 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 Baby, we have to be done. Baby, this can't keep happening. Ah! Ow! Okay, that's not open for very long. Baby, are you done? Yeah, he's done. It's nap time. Oh, horrible. All tuckered out. Played a little too hard. Oh, wait, no, wait, I don't want to pick up baby yet. Does just look like a little guy. That's just a little man. Not the goop launcher. Okay, game, I know what happens here. Can I just, like, have it do its thing? And then I go back and I go get more ammo and stuff? Because I would love that. I would love to go get the ammo that was still in there. Thank you. Oh. Oh, we are just worms now. Okay. Well, that's cool. Oops, all worms. Oh, jeez. Oh, heck. Okay. Well, we've built up on ammo. A cat hair in my mouth. Can I get the juice? No? No juice allowed? Okay. Oh, because it was, like, fully empty, right? Here's the thing, though. The only other baby's in there. And, don't seem to be allowed to get in there. How do we resolve this? Like this? Like that! Cool. Alright, buddy. Look. Oh, I can't switch weapons at all. I am stuck with the goop launcher. Please make this easy for us. We've done this already, okay? Oh, okay. Ah. Ah. Okay. Well, that's okay. Now we know. Continue, please. I would like to do that again. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but excuse me? Oh, okay. It didn't put us that far back then. That's nice. I was very concerned. That's an angry baby. This is a problem because I don't have, like, any health. Game! I was grabbing ammo! Yeah, Stomach Boy took all my health, and I'm not happy about that. He needs to stop doing that, is the thing. I don't like it when he does that. And I don't like that I have to sit through this cutscene every single time. It's not particularly long, but it is annoying. I would like to be able to run. Okay. Yeah, you have to be done now. Give me this. And give me that. That wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it still wasn't great. Okay. I was really scared I was gonna have to, like, do the whole side sack thing again. And that wasn't gonna go well with a grenade launcher. What can I say? I'm a pro gamer! It's fine, we got our baby juice. And he's stealing our health again. I swear to God, if this kills us, I'm gonna be so mad. Our poor buddy! Okay. Still not ideal. But hopefully we get some, buddy. Pal? Oh, jeez. Okay. How do we fix this? Friend, do you have any suggestions? You can't just wiggle your hands at me and be like, oh. You have to offer a solution. What's down here? That's more... Oh, that's ammo anyway. Oh. Oh, I see. Buddy, I know, we're not doing too hot. Wait, are you kidding me? Pruning those worms is gonna kill me, though. Okay. What has this done? My wets. Oh, boy. That's more worm pruning. Health. Health. Give me health. Holy shit, give me health. Game, you have been very rude in stealing all of my health. I like that he can use his hands to get health, but can't use his hands to do anything else. Oh. Okay. It's prune time. Okay, stop staring at your hand and let me go. Good job, buddy. Yeah, I know. We're back to our hands being overgrown. I understand. I get it. Hey, new key. Oh, fuck off. Okay, well, let's prune some more. And stop looking at our hands because you're wasting time. Do it. Do it. Yay. Oh boy. My wets. Okay, now what? There's no more health in there. We've gotten all of it. What's over here? A door. What's over here? Something I can't use at the moment because my poor hands are wormed. I need to prune. It's pruning time. There's... Machine's not there. Where is it? Here? Here. Yeah, it's terminal, I think. His worm hand. Okay, run, sir. job, buddy! Ugh. Horrible worm hands. Needs to take a lesson from Weevil Bruv and learn how to not be, you know, fully covered in worms. Only a couple of worms. Edward Worm hands. Ugh. Yuck. Huh. Okay. Well, what are we doing? That's where we got the better key from. Yeah, I know. You've got worms on your hands. I understand. I can shrimp check. Thank you. Ugh. We're sitting up straight now. Don't you worry. Thank you, TK. Might have been shrimping a little bit. Could you tell? Because I was sinking. That's a pruner. That's a pruner right there. Anything else that I can do? This is where the babies came from. That's where babies come from. This is a dead end. Yeah. That's not helpful. And this is where we've been. So can we... I'm here to help. You know, I understand that these things are confusing and not talked about often, but I'm here to clear it up for you. Kind of cool. Okay, what do we got here? Oh. Oh. See, I thought these were just statues like that one over there, but apparently those are people? My god. That's some Hellraiser type shit right there. Kinda here for it. Okay. Can't do anything on that side just yet. And that's the same place. Yuma EFA, thank you for the follow. And that goes back, that goes down to where we were. Okay. So it does at least, like, link up. What's out here? I mean, this is where we came from, right? Like, this is how we got in? I just... Oh, yucky! Oh, it's yucky up there. I'm trying to figure out, like, where I'm supposed to go. Because I need to put this in here, but I don't think I can run... Sorry. I don't think I can run there fast enough from here. I can try. But that's like... Yeah, no. I can't leave the area. It does last longer than that, but it won't let me run back up there. Okay. That is unfortunate. This is where we got the key? Yeah. We're done in there. This is unlocked, but we can't really do anything in there at the moment. Yeah, I know. I know. You've got the worm hands. Sir, I am aware. Can I... Can I prune and then get in there? Or can I prune and get in there? I'm scared that I don't have enough time to do any of this. You know? Because it comes back so quickly. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Oh! Or maybe I do. Oh! Sir, those are my insides. Those need to stay in there. I need those. Oh, yikes, buddy. Oh, look, Kim. He's just giving us a hug. Okay, how do I... Here? Here, then. Yeah, it's DIY surgery time. This seems safe. Can I exit now? Oh, buddy, how are you feeling? He was holding all of our stuff for... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, no. I don't think our belly should look like that. Oh, we're wibbly. And wobbly. And probably going to fall down. Frank, can we at least, like, I don't know, just push it all back in? I should probably go take care of the goop first. Oh, can I not? Oh, his sad little sounds. No, that's okay. Who's supposed to hold all my ammo now? Oh, jeez. Oh, heck. Oh, goodness. Our poor boy. Is it time to get a new body? I think it's time to get a new body. Oh, bud. Yeah, this one's no good. It's been totaled. New body required. Oh, we're so wiggly. I know, pal. I'm sorry. If I could let you just take a nap, I would, but I can't. We gotta keep going. It is true. If we had duct tape, this wouldn't be an issue at all. However, someone forgot to pack their duct tape. Okay, well, you know, we got the baby juice. And we do have a way to get back. It's just gonna take us a minute. Oh boy. It's okay, it's not your fault. Just remember, duct tape will solve most of life's problems. So, to ring in the new year, might have been wearing my Screwy Says Eat More Screws shirt. Oh, we've lost a lot of jam. Yeah, I know, buddy. It is the year of eating screws. Listen, if you don't eat screws, what are you doing with your life? We do look less wormy? We do look less wormy now. There are significantly less worms. However, my inside worms are coming out. My sausages are leaking. But we have been dewormed. So, you know, silver lining and all that. Yeah, jam explosion occurred. It was incredibly unfortunate. Resolved one problem. Create a new one. Listen, the worms could have stayed, but they were disrespecting the property in which they were living. And we can't have that. They were horrible tenants. Not all worms, but these ones were bad. I'm telling ya, everyone's gotta take an example from Weevilbruvin and their worms. Weevilbruvin and their worms have it all worked out. Oh, we're goopy. You wanna just jam your face in there? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Wait. No, we're gonna end up... Wait. Oh! That was a donger. Game! Peen alert. Wait! No, I need those! Wait! I need those! He's taking my hole! Just all of it! Every bit of it! I don't want to be up there. When you tell your barber you only want a little off the top and they shave your whole head? I am now part of the hive mind, it would seem. New body? New body just dropped? Oh! We've given up on the peen life, I see. Wait, what do you mean, switch? I am pregante. Pregnanners. Hey. Oh, our poor buddy. Hey, I'm gonna need you to stop. Oh. That's a peen. This is our baby now. What am I trying to do? Can I... Okay, well, let's switch again, I guess. Our poor friend. We are the many now. We are Legion? But I'm not sure where I'm supposed to take you, but your insides are outside now, and you don't look like you're feeling too great, you know? Oh, what's this? Okay. What if I switch to our other friend and we use this? Oh, I don't have a thing. Look at that, though. Hey, have you considered not stabbing our buddy here? Oh, I can get a thing here. Shove your hand in it. Excuse me, sorry. We got it. Now I can shove my hand in it. Let's go. Open? I think we need to stop just stabbing that one spot in our friend. Have we considered? No. No, we're still gonna do it. Yeah, but I don't think the friend appreciates it, you know? No, okay, I guess y'all have a point. Allie and Arcade, you make a fair argument. We're walking very slowly all of a sudden. He has no mouth and he must scream. Yeah, I don't think he's home right now. Is the thing. I think he would love to say something, but you know. No, not you again. Listen, I just fixed this problem. Ugh. Buddy. Oh, heck. It is true. Is this the end of the game? And thus we became one. Oh, bud. The horrific amalgamations you made with your friends. Wonderful. Oh, jeez. Fruity. It all comes back to the man who got pushed into the brain. And thus we become meat. Is that it? Okay. It was neat. Visually really cool. It's true, we did it. We scorned. We did the scorning. I think I'm gonna have to play it again in like a single sit through at some point on my own time to try and like piece more of it together. Oh, I got every achievement apparently. I have 100% of the game apparently. Yeah, I'll probably play through it again at some point just to like try and piece more of it together. The general understanding is that everything sort of I think the bad meat ending is the ending. That's what became of every other thing that was there. And I think we just met the same fate as everything. You know, I don't know. It was cool. But yeah, I'll need to play again at some point to like piece it together a little more. But visually it was really cool. I did like the puzzles in it. So yeah, it was neat. I liked it. It was a cool game. Yeah, gotta scorn it together at some point. I must become meat in order to understand. But hey, we're done with Scorn, which is exciting because, you know, now we can move on to other things. Probably more Village on Wednesday, because we need to finish that out, but I think we'll be able to finish that on Wednesday, because we just have the last, or I guess all of the factory, because we didn't really start it, but we got there. So we've got Heisenberg's factory to get through, and then the Chris bit, along with the Mother Miranda fight. But we can probably manage that in a single sitting, I think. Otherwise, after that, I do want to play Last Light again, because we've got the harder difficulties to get through and more of the story to figure out. Hi, Farley. I also have this game that Smiley bought for me for Christmas called Beacon Pines, which is a mystery game done in the style of like a storybook, and you get to like choose the story as you go, so that could be fun. Yeah, we could do that. I got lots of games lined up, basically, is what I'm saying. There's lots of other options as well. But yeah, for now, we'll probably finish Village on Wednesday. And oh my god, excuse me. I got games. Hey, I got games. I don't know. I felt for like a while I knew I had games that I could play on stream, it just didn't feel like there was anything that I wanted to play. And I think it was just a lot of just November and December being as shit as they were, between the weather and personal stuff going on and just general stress with that time of year. Everything just didn't feel great, but we're back at it and I'm excited. And there's lots of games to be playing. I do want to, I have taken Allie's suggestion of doing a cute game every so often under advisement. Would we... Yeah, it's that sad. It's both sad and sad, you know. Would we want to do like a wholesome game like once a month maybe, or do we want to fund a wholesome week again, like we did previously as far as like our community goal is concerned? Because like, obviously I'll play whatever I want to play when I want to play it, and if I want to take a break and do just a chill sort of cozy game, we can do that. But would y'all prefer a slightly more set schedule? You always want things to throw your points at? Okay. And I know that like having that like goal tends to make it a little more hype when we do have it, so holy shit, Allie, that is too much. That's too many. Okay, I'll I think for next time I'll set up a community goal then for a wholesome week. Yeah, because I'm down to host a wholesome week. I'm also down to just do a cozy game every so often. We'll still probably do both, but as far as like trying to plan that out, I was curious as to what y'all would prefer, because I was sort of indifferent. That's too many points! Why do y'all have so many points? Holy shit! I should make some big things for y'all to spend them on. If you have suggestions for redemptions, let me know. Like some big price redemptions. Otherwise I can increase the price on some stuff. I know you literally just said that you forget to do redemptions. But if there are anything big price redemptions where we get scorned, I'd be willing to do like, trying to think, because I've been playing Pokemon a lot, like in my spare time, if we wanted to do like a Pokemon hunt or something like that as like a temporary thing, just add one new addition to my Pokedex or something like that. I don't know. I think I've got like some short like arcade like games on my Switch that we could do redemptions for. I don't know. We'll figure stuff out. Like I said, if you got suggestions, I won't guarantee that I'll add them, because it all comes down to what I want to do and what I'm comfortable with. But I also I'm very bad at coming up with those kinds of things. So if you have suggestions, please let me know. Yeah, but that's all we got for today. We did it. We beat Scorn. I wasn't expecting to beat it today. But that's exciting. So let's go find someone to raid. Actually, I know who we're raiding. We're gonna raid Cudel, because she's playing some Resident Evil 2, and we love Feudal here. Alright, so we're gonna start that raid. We'll be back on Wednesday. But until then, take care of your dang selves. I love y'all. For also we were gonna play Scone instead of Scorn. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, take care of yourselves. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one, friends. Bye.